the Gorgeous Geeks, and we're here today to talk about X-Men First Class. Which it's gotten some positive reviews, and some critics are saying
that it's the best superhero movie since Batman Begins.
Well, that's a big exaggeration. Some people said it's the best X-Men films. Honestly, it's my least favorite out of that particular franchise. I don't want to say it was... It kind of left me with a very blah feeling. I won't say I hated it or anything like that.
Well, see, the thing about it was that there were so many things I didn't care for, but I loved Magneto so freaking
the
much.
Biggest flaw with this film was that it was not the Magneto film that we were promised so very long ago.
Yeah.
Because
it should have been Magneto and Charles.
It should have been Eric and Charles.
Because you just didn't. Because those two are so good, you just didn't care about anybody else.
Their chemistry was great. I really like the story with Magneto, and they show what happened after, the scene with the gate that was in the very first X film. Went on a little bit more, and with that, and so he's taking revenge. Well, I don't want to say.
See, stuff like that it makes me question, because Matthew Vaughn said he's doing his own version. I'm
like, is that the same scene?
I knew it wasn't the same scene because I remember the kid being cuter. It was a cuter kid. There's what? Isn't that bad? There are cuter kids. Kids are cuter than kids.
Yeah.
But I knew there wasn't the same kid, so I was like, but he said he wanted to do his own version.
Okay.
So he's still
that's the thing that bugs me about the continuity. I went this movie, and I knew everything was all screwy, so I'm like, I'm going to try not to focus on that at all.
Right.
But I knew that Matthew Vaughn said that he didn't care and he was doing his own thing. But then there are two cameos from two people who
You could already say everybody already knows.
Okay, Rebecca Romijn was in there, and so was Hugh Jackman.
Mm-hmm. And
I won't spoil it how, but they were in there. They had cameos. So if they're part of the other films, how can you say it's different? So
I mean,
it's. I heard someone say it's a prequel and a reboot. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. But whatever.
It's not a standalone film. You can't say it's standalone because it does have other elements of those other films, like those two cameos. But it completely throws the continuity of the rest of the franchise that you have to say it's a standalone film.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a conundrum. Mm-hmm. This movie is a conundrum.
Yeah, but like I said, even with all that stuff aside, I did not like Emma. I didn't like Emma. I didn't like her costume.
Yeah, whoever did these costumes in this movie kind of failed. Because her costume, especially her very first one when she first shows up, mm-hmm. is so cheap looking.
It is.
It's very cheap looking.
It is. I did
not like her costumes. I'm not a man, so I don't know how men react to January Jones, but I didn't think she was cute enough to be Emma.
To me,
she did not have the curves either. Mm-mm. And frankly, if you're like, well, that shouldn't matter, acting ability, she was like a gaping hole on the film. She honestly was. There's nothing... She didn't even have a presence. She was just there. Mm-hmm. She was just there. She added nothing.
Christina doesn't like Queen Emma Frost. I love Emma. I was glad when she replaced Jean in the comics, because I was getting sick of Jean's storyline, I'm alive, I'm dead, So I was glad that Emma came along and brought something fresh new. I like Emma Frost, but I just didn't like her portrayal of it. I just didn't like it. And her costume was what really got to me. I'm like, come on, you guys have $1 million budget.
Yeah.
All you do is go to Victoria's Secret. I used to work there. I know they could have gotten something there that would look better than what she had on. Just the cape thing. I mean, they tried to make it like the comic books, and I was like,
it was terrible.
It looked like I made it out of felt.
Yeah.
Like a homeschool project, whatever. I've seen cosplay girls do way better in my costumes than that, so I was kind of shocked by that. Kevin Bacon shocked me. Because when I first heard that he was going to play Sebastian Shaw, I was like, really, Kevin Bacon? No, I'm sorry, because I love Kevin Bacon. I think Kevin Bacon's a great actor, but the first thing that comes to my mind is Footloose. I'm like, I'm thinking, okay, try and get Footloose out. Try and get Footloose out. Try and get that double kick out your head. But I couldn't. But then while I was watching the film, he did such a good job. That movie, Footloose, didn't cross my mind at all.
Yeah, he was definitely someone
He's so good.
You didn't like, someone you wanted to get
You
what
hated
they deserved. He was definitely someone you wanted to get what they deserved. Of course, the continuity of all the characters is screwy. So, but as a standalone film with this villain, he was someone you definitely hated and wanted them to get. So
I was so disappointed in Azazel.
Oh yeah, who's Nightcrawler's dad? Of course they didn't mention anything, or there wasn't any in chemistry between him and Mystique or anything like that in this film. But it is a reboot prequel. So
but the thing about it was that when Nightcrawler first appeared,
it was so cool on X2. It was so cool.
I remember people in the eyes was just like this.
We were in
to
awe.
See him teleport, and just defeat the president's security system to nothing. And it was amazing. So, and that was so many years ago. It's 2011. I was expecting to see something even crazier. There was only one moment I was like, okay, well that is kind of freaking amazing that he was doing.
And freaky and stuff. But the thing is, like, he has these swords and he's fighting people. And I know it's PG-13, but you can't have that much slice and dice and then lift up your blade and it's completely blank. Because I know you want to do that to be kid-friendly. But we're not stupid.
But still,
how can you want to make a film and say that, like, I know Matthew Vaughn said that he liked Chris Nolan's stuff, that he loves what he did with Batman and made it so realistic and stuff, and he thinks comic book movies should push to do that. Frankly, I like sometimes the escapism of it all.
The emotion was there as far as the realism.
Yeah, well,
the emotion was
you can
there.
feel emotions when you read a comic book,
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if something is whimsical or something. If you watch something like Lord of the Rings, you have all these great actors. It doesn't matter if it's fantasy. If you feel those characters, the emotions are real. It doesn't matter. I frankly don't think you need to conform that way. Period. I don't. Batman was great what it was, but he's not a superhero.
Yeah, he doesn't have powers.
He doesn't have powers.
He's a hero, though.
He's a hero, but he's not technically a superhero. I know that kind of sounds sad to say, but he's not. He's a man in a bat suit.
Well, there aren't that
he dresses up in a bat costume and attacks people.
There's not as many billionaires out there as there. Let's not get into
this. Yeah, I don't even know where you're going. But the point is, you have these. I don't know how realistic superpowers. How really you want to make that. Besides, I mean, the evolution. I guess that can make sense. I don't see how Angel's wings coming off her back, like a tattoo, can happen, but in the realm of reality, but whatever. I
was just so disappointed with Azazel because the teleportation, it just seemed so slow. Like, if you've seen I Am Number 4,
he's a demon. He's not a mutant, which I guess he's just a mutant in the film because they didn't mention it. But he was not vicious. He was just a lackey, and he was. I guess I needed a teleporter. And that's what he was.
But the thing about it was
a beast.
He was so. If you've seen I Am Number 4, and I see how I Am number 6, Teresa Palmer, how she was just going down the hallway so fast and slicing and dicing and everything like that. That's what I wanted Nightcrawler to be. That's what I wanted Azazel to see. And Azazel was just so slow with his teleportation and everything. I was just so very disappointed. And then they just threw in a couple of side characters. I didn't like that he used Darwin because he's such an amazing character. And so
they completely misused him. It was like a Smallville misuse. Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was.
Yeah.
And
it was.
I don't want to give it away, but it was like, dang.
Yeah.
What was the point?
Yeah. It really was.
Well, everyone knows the Havoc dilemma. Because, Havoc's really Scott's brother, and it's a whole continuity error.
I don't see why they needed him, because there's plenty of other mutants and superpowered people in Marvel that can just shoot
I don't see why they needed any other mutants besides Charles and Eric.
Didn't need it. They didn't need to have an X-Men team. It should have just been Eric and Charles, bada bing, bada boom, and that's it.
And what was Angel doing there? Was it just affirmative action taking place? Let's throw in some... We need some more black people and... Like, that was honest. Like, comic books, there's always, like, the blue person on the team.
I hated her
like,
when they
that
first
was, like,
appeared
a really
in the comic
diverse
books.
team.
I hated her. I couldn't stand her. It was like, okay, here, we need BET in Marvel, let's bring Angel in. That's what it was like when she came in the comic books. I could not stand her. I couldn't take it.
Yeah, I don't understand why they pick these certain characters. Because if you're just going to go all over the place and not care about continuity, I don't know why if you could pick anybody and you're just picking anybody from a random hat, why would you pick them? Why would you pick Angel? Darwin I can understand. Not after how they screwed him over like that. No, I can't. But, you know, I don't see why her. I don't understand.
There are just so many other people that they could have used. I mean, it's just so, it was just odd to me. I still don't get the Havoc. I still don't, I really don't get, there's so many mutants that can shoot blasts or obtain energy or do a lot of stuff with energy. Shoot fire!
And all these characters are apparently older than, they show a little Storm for a second, and when, I guess I don't want to say, but the continuity is just so screwy.
Mm-hmm. By the third X-Men, you should realize that it's not like the comics. You know, just let it go.
Okay, yeah. But
so that's what I went in there with. So I think I enjoyed it more so than you because of that.
I really tried to do that. The messing up, screwing up everything wasn't such a big deal. It's the fact that they already have these past movies. They had 3 movies before it. They can't say they want to reboot this thing and it haven't, because it's not really a reboot. It's not really a prequel. It's a conundrum. And it's like they want to build off of that. I don't want them to build off of this. I'd rather go back to where it was with Singer and Rayner and go from there. I don't want to, as much as I liked Eric and Charles, I don't like what they did with everybody else in this film, and it should just be a standalone and nothing else should come out of it, honestly.
Well, people are saying that Michael Fassbender did such a good job. They're saying that it was more like watching a James Bond film, which his scenes, I'm telling you, you watch that movie, and it's like, you see one of his scenes, and it's like, okay, when is he going to show up again? When is he going to show up again? When is he going to show up again? Because his scenes were the most entertaining.
He stole the film.
He did. He stole the film. His scenes were the most entertaining parts in that whole movie. And I could have seen a whole movie of just him. Actually, you know what? I hope they scratch this and reboot it again and just have him play Magneto.
You get rid of the
conundrum
and make a real reboot or something.
It was so awesome.
Because
Magneto chasing down Nazis with his magnetic powers, it's crazy. It's awesome.
Because everybody else in this movie was, besides like Charles, everyone else was flawed and screwy, and I don't want to see them again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
but Kevin Bacon did do a good job.
Mystique was a big part of this film. She was more like the girl who wants to be accepted and loved, and she has to find out that she has to love herself. And so
I understand. I understand why they put her in there, and she was kind of a bridge.
She was a big part in the first 3 films.
Yeah, she was
super cool.
Yeah.
She didn't get to see any of that super coolness or anything, but I guess she was just a kid.
So I think it was okay to have her in there because she was, with Magneto from all the time. But the only scene of hers I really liked was when she was in a scene with Magneto.
She doesn't really do anything for the team. Not really. Mm-mm. She's just there with her angst. She adds angst. That's what she did.
Moira McTaggart! She was the most... That was the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah, they just basically made her another person and slapped that name on her.
She wasn't even a scientist. And then she didn't even have a relationship with Charles. Not really, no.
Not really. I don't feel like anybody else really added anything. I mean, one of Shaw's henchmen didn't even talk. Do I suggest that you guys see this movie? I suggest go see Thor again.
I want you guys to see because I want you guys to experience Michael Fassbender.
I do.
I really
but
do.
You can rent it for that.
Go. No, you guys need to go see this guy. Go see this guy. He was so amazing. I love James McAvoy. I really, really do. But man, Michael was so good.
Well, yeah, you can go see it. but I don't want it to go anywhere further.
Our mom actually fell asleep and woke up in the Magneto parts.
My brother, he usually defends them and puts on his headphones on the way while we talk about the movie because he doesn't want us to tarnish what he felt about the film. And he didn't really like it either. And he actually said that Emma Frost was like a defective fembot. That's how he described her.
Yes! But the fembots look better than her! The fembots look better. They look so much better than her in the Austin Powers. Oh, come on. Oh, it was crazy. That is so good. I wish I would have heard it when we said it. It's so true.
So, I know I've heard a lot of fanboys actually like the film, so I don't know what this world is coming to. I didn't, like, it was very blah. And maybe I need to watch it again or something.
I'm telling it's not as bad as what you're saying. I'm telling you, because...
How can you say that when you say it should only be about Charles?
Haven't you ever seen a movie where there was a couple characters that just made the movie that much better? That's what he did.
But you're saying what made this film great is that there should have been a different film entirely.
I said I wish that it would have just been about those characters. But he carried that movie so much.
Of other characters.
But the movie wasn't bad, though.
I didn't say it was bad. I said it was blah, and I said that it should have been only about those two. That's what I said.
Well, it should have been.
And I said everyone else is basically a waste of space, and you agree with that.
Yeah, but I would still go see it again if I had extra time just to watch those parts with Magneto. But anyways, tell us what you think. Tell us if you agree with us or whatever. Anyways, I'm Katrina.
I'm Christina.
And we're the Gorgeous Geeks.